I think there's still a really far away implementation. And the way I feel that's the case is, I think, especially from a grassroots perspective, it's very much fringe yet. And from a policy perspective, it's very fuzzy still. It's almost like the declaration stage, you know? We declare that we want, but there's no commitment, you know? There's basically a declaration, and that's sometimes very positive. Of course, I'm happy with every step, but I miss what it actually means. And if you are really reflective and critical of what it actually means, there's deep, deep, deep current infrastructure of our society that you just don't change straight away, whether it's the energy transition and our heavy dependency on fossil fuels, whether it's our economic system or financial system that really is still very much shareholder minded. Those are the changes, whether it's also in our human nature, right? Because don't underestimate how much even you and me are not capable of scaling down. And if you would really want to have an access, so there's this, I think it's good to study and form an opinion for yourself of this concept of, can you decouple growth? Right? Those are, let's say, two major views on growth. Everybody says, let's say now, okay, growth in itself is bad, can be bad if it hurts the planet, you know, if it's not decoupled, but once it's decoupled, it can be good. And you have green growth. Do you have green growth or not? But what's underlying underneath that, and that's the power of the metaphor, which is so ingrained as a pattern in our brain, that this notion that we always want more. And do we want that? And are we reflective enough on that? What helped me personally in my personal journey has been minimalizing a lot. That's how I created space. And so from again, this very personal small experience, I think we would be very successful also on a more bigger scale if we could all minimize and create space. But we don't want to go there, don't want to have those discussions, don't had the whole notion of the Netherlands, for instance, on average, we spend as a society 4 planets. One, perhaps is not consciously available, that knowledge with everyone, of course, but even for the people that do consciously know that, there's a complete disconnect and no sense of urgency at all to do something about it. And because there's no sense of urgency with the idea of, it's not my problem, everybody does it. If somebody does it, it should be government or it should be business or whatever, or, you know, other people have to be smart about this. That's why I'm also so passionate about education early on. I don't want to scare people, but I do want to make them more aware. I also have made different choices in life because of awareness later in life. And what I find most scary is how many people still choose not to do, let's say, the right thing. And this is putting it very black and white. But my hope still for a big part is that awareness will help. But my fear is that even if we are aware, we don't feel the sense of urgency. And because I'm a realist, And if I look around, I see that close by, own friends. I see that so much that's why I feel the transition has a long way to go. And perhaps what will push us maybe really forward, or maybe give that sense of urgency a little more weight, if we have these natural disasters more. But then again, we in the Netherlands don't necessarily feel it. I mean, perhaps if the sea would rise and we would have more flooding, but the forest fires are not with us. The flooding is not here, and that's worrying. The impact is usually with people in the world, and the societies in the world, and the countries in the world that actually don't really have the power in that sense to change. There was a recent article this week. I just read the headline saying that the 1% actually, we all, with the climate discussion, we point to there's too many people in the world, this and that, but it's really the consumption pattern that is pushing the planetary boundaries. It's not the amount of people.